You can manifest anything that you want if you would just be operating from your knowing state. Let me explain. Our thoughts are consistently dictating our emotional state in comparison to abundance. So, in relation to abundance. And abundance to me is a state of being where you know that you're always supported and always provided for and nothing is ever missing, right? It's not about how much that you have, it's about how deeply can you trust yourself that everything you need is already yours. And abundance in that sense, that can be money, that can be love, that can be health, that can be your family, your dream body, a location that you want, your friends, whatever that you want to manifest and attract, right? Now, we have to realize that this is an everyday occurrence, not just a one time thing, and that we're going to have to be conscious of doing until it becomes an unconscious process, meaning until it becomes an automatic process, until it becomes a habit, like breathing, for example. And what I mean by that as well is that we have to consciously make the effort to view our circumstances in a new way. And that takes practice and consistency over a certain amount of time. So until we subconsciously have accepted our abundance, right, you will continue to impress the subconscious mind morning to night. Like I said, consistency and practice, morning to night, every single day, because it's like molding clay. So you keep impressing the subconscious mind until it finally accepts the new belief, until you really feel it, because emotions are behind everything. The emotions are your drive. And that new belief, in this case, is going to be the knowing. Now, once you reach this state, it's calm, right? It's no longer anything forced. It's not something that you really have to be conscious of. You now just know it. Just like you know the sky is blue and the sun looks yellow orangey. It's further than a belief. It's further than having faith in the process, and it is knowing that my abundance is here. It's simply acceptance, right? It's surrender to the fact. And I am no longer fighting with my reality. I'm no longer checking my 3D, or I'm no longer checking for anything to show up around me. I'm no longer doubting myself. I'm no longer questioning myself. I'm no longer telling myself how horrible I am at manifesting. And I'm not telling myself I am unworthy of the money or the abundance, the health, the love that I have dropped, right? My ego has completely changed in this case because my subconscious has accepted that abundance, and that is what is going to happen for you. This is what we call the knowing in that case. Now, the first thing in order for you to get to the knowing state is that you have to, again, consciously be doing the identity work that I always talk about, which is your self talk and your subconscious pattern reprogramming and your nervous system regulation and all the things. So, the second thing is understanding that when I have a trigger, I have to stop for a second and regulate that nervous system before I can even proceed in the first place. Because, like this, you're always dysregulated, you're always in chaos, you're always not thinking straight, you're always uncertain, right? You're always lashing out in some kind of way and making irrational decisions. So, whether you want to do the breath work, the meditation, ice baths, walks outside, just sitting in silence for a minute, whether you want to do EFT tapping technique, whatever nervous system regulation exercise you want to do, pick what you like and what's easy for you and what's easy for you to do on the spot, right? Pick it and continue doing it. Be consistent with it, because you are retraining your body literally into a new physical energetic reaction towards abundance, towards whatever you're focusing on right now. So you're no longer panicking, you're no longer having anxiety attacks and overthinking and self-doubts and all the things. You're not doubting anymore, you're not questioning anymore, you're not in disbelief anymore, you're in absolute certainty. So meaning that you are cool, you're calm, you are collected in that knowing state, meaning my abundance is here. your abundance is here, right? And you think that, or you believe that, I always get what I want. I always have exactly what I need and what I'm asking for. I don't need to stress because it is already mine. Everything is a guarantee, right? Everything was promised to me. Everything is right in front of me. And just because I have the thought of it alone, it's already a possibility for me. I just had to get out of my own way, right? I was the resistance, and that's all it ever is. I'm my only blockage in that way. It's always me. It always, and I always say in my membership, in my world, to my clients, on my channel, everywhere, that it always starts with you, right? You can blame as many people around you as you want. It's always you. And everything can shift once your internal shifts as well. And that's what we call that identity shift, is you change who you are, basically, not in a negative way, but you just come home to yourself. And the main thing that you need to learn here is that in life, you are either the resisting factor or the allowing factor. And there is no external force taking something away or giving it to you. It's only you. Like I said, it always starts within you. You're the operant power of your own reality. And it's always been you, and it always will be you. No matter what your circumstances are, where you're coming from, what is happening around you, you can change your circumstances within you by shifting within yourself. So we need to understand, number one, where we currently stand with abundance, with our beliefs, and what we need to change. Second, how we have to speak, think, and feel, because again, emotions are the drive, in order to make the change consciously. To then, number three, stepping into the knowing state subconsciously by eliminating the triggers through nervous system regulation and all the things. And through that identity shift work, through that inner work. And we are now then living in a knowing state where we don't have to question our health, our body, our environment, our finances, our love life, our happiness, and so on, right? And this is where the magic really starts to happen. And miracles can happen overnight in the quantum realm, right? It's not a linear fashion of how things move. It's just not how that realm, how that environment, how that field works. It's not past, present, and future. It's all realities occurring right now. And you are the one shifting in between them. So you're shifting in and out of a reality. And as you're shifting in and out of conscious states, depending on what state of consciousness that you occupy in your mind. So no matter how unrealistic you believe your circumstances are and your wish is, you can make the impossible happen with these shifts. I have lived that myself. This is why I keep saying all the time, the conversations in your mind and the emotional factors of the body, they are not private things. They are creative efforts or creative factors that universal laws are using to create your reality for you. You are just a filter. You are the one projecting. You're the projector, the story. So what you're seeing with your own two eyes, you are creating it. If all you see is negative stuff, you're creating that. Change your internal to change your external. So you have to take full responsibility of this reality, because creation is done only with you. No other factor is taking place here. The only time that you think other factors are responsible for sabotaging something in your life is when your ego is fully activated, is out of control, and therefore is working against you. When in reality, your ego should be working for you. Your ego should be your greatest asset. But I have made another video on how to actually master the ego and how to make it your greatest asset. So go and watch it if you haven't already. Because the reality is also that you cannot live without the ego, right? It's actually a good thing. It should be your best friend. So you see that the reality that you are creating, this this knowing state is something I want you to feel safe and secure in and not completely dysregulated in. And if you feel the urge of being like, well, where's the abundance I wanted? Or I've been doing this all month. I've been doing this for 2 months. I've been doing this for years. Where is it? It almost feels like I'm getting things taken away from me all the time. Well, when this happens to you, I also want you to understand that universal laws have to make space first, right? That's why you lose people. That's why you lose your job. That's why you lose things overall. So even before I got my job now, I lost a lot of money. I was jobless. I just finished uni. I had to move back home from my boyfriend's apartment because I just couldn't afford to live with him anymore. I had no perspective really. Things in my private life went to shit. I lost friends, my car broke down, all the things, my cat died, but I knew that because of duality, the shitty times also predict exciting times because it's all existing at once, right? So I just surrendered. I just took it all in. I felt all the feelings. I just sat with it. I found a quick way to make money, which was for me, for example, substituting in my hometown. I enjoy that. It's something I always say I would have done. I would have become a teacher in my other life. And then I knew in the back of my mind that it wouldn't be inconsistent, right? I had a knowing state instilled in me that I would get the best offer possible at that job. So that's when I got offered a fixed and great paying job position, a fixed contract. My private life resolved itself in the best way possible. Everything became wonderful again. My coaching business finally ran. So once you're in the flow, once you have integrated that knowing state, things start to move very fast, right? So I need you to stop checking your 3D and the results in it, because that is only showing you that, number one, you don't trust the process. Number two, you don't understand how reality creation actually works. You don't need to see proof. The only proof that you need is to feel. Because, like I said a bunch of times now, emotions are your drive, right? The only proof that you need to experience is your own feeling. Do you feel better emotionally? Ask yourself that before you start checking the 3D, before you start having another panic attack about another bad thing that happened. Ask yourself, when you're doing these processes, do you feel better? If the answer is yes, you are already on the right path. You are literally molding your reality already. Your emotional state, your emotional guidance system is like a GPS, right? It's literally directing you based on how you feel when you're making decisions. And that's why your gut feeling doesn't work when you're completely dysregulated. That's why your intuition, you cannot trust your intuition when you're completely dysregulated, when you're not doing your inner work, when you're not taking care of yourself. That's when your GPS doesn't work, because it's pointing in all the wrong directions, right? But once you're in that calm state, that's when your intuition is the most powerful thing, especially when you're a woman, right? So ask yourself in a moment, how do I feel? Is this going to get me excited? Am I lit on fire? Am I passionate about it? If so, then do it, even if it's scary, right? It can be scary and you're still passionate about it. That's how I felt about coaching, because I was putting myself out there. I was scared, but I knew I'm so passionate about it. I felt the excitement. I feel the excitement recording these videos for you guys, right? Even if at first I was scared of speaking in front of a camera and stuff like that. But that's your GPS telling you go, because your body is so smart. Your body is so intelligent. It is literally telling you everything that you need to know. And this is when we talk about taking aligned action, right? So in the knowing state, you will start to notice that you get these nudges and hunches and ideas because your mind is so calm and so clear and concise, and you can focus and you can think straight because you are trusting the process. You are not worried, you're not panicking about anything. And this is really when we get downloads on what to do. What is my next step? You feel them. You get a hunch for it. So now that we know that God is internal, or universe is internal, spirit is internal, I always say that in my videos, whatever you believe in. I personally say God. You can think for yourself whatever you want. God is internal. God lives within you. And we have a desire that means it's already being created in the quantum realm. All we have to do is listen to the guidance moving forward every night.